Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to another video. On today's video, guys, we're going to be looking at the words of Hansi Flick, Lamine Yamal, and Frenkie de Jong as they all spoke about Barcelona's draw yesterday against Rayo Vallecano. I know it wasn't the best Barcelona performance. I know there's a lot of critics out there right now bashing Barcelona and being very critical of that performance. And so we're going to be looking at the words from both the coach and the players, just analyzing in a little bit more detail and seeing, is there actually a cause for concern? Is this a problem for Barcelona? But before I get started on the video, guys, make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. Everything is posted down below in the description. Go over there and check me out. That way you guys can stay up to date with everything that I do on the channel. And as well, the link to become a member is also posted down below. But as always, guys, let's get started with the video. All right, guys, let's get started with the video and let's look at the words of Hansi Flick, because Hansi Flick, he wasn't really happy with Barcelona, and he in the dressing room after the match, there were some reports that he actually was very, very angry, and he let the players know about his anger, mentioning how Barcelona, they needed to fix up because with Barcelona heading out to the international break, there were just some things that there had to be said. And Hansi Flick, he was very, very animated and frustrated at the team after that performance. Hansi Flick, he talks about Barca's performance. He says, I agree with Lamine Yamal about the lack of intensity, but we made too many mistakes. In the first half, we could have scored a second goal, but Rayo played fantastically. I'm not happy with the team because we lost the ball too often. Playing here is always tough, but we have to play better. Inigo Perez, the Rayo Vallecano coach, is doing an incredible job with this team. I already said that yesterday in the press conference. In situations where they press you, you have to play better with the ball. We simply made too many errors, so in the end, we have to be satisfied with the point. Hansi Flick saying a point is enough. He says, I think a point was good enough. We don't deserve more. Now, I think that's a big, big sign, because usually Barcelona, we usually play better than the opposition. We generally create the better of the chances. And if we do, pick up a loss, it's more of Barcelona making mistakes and just being like, we deserved to, not lose. But Barcelona, Hansi Flick being honest, saying, hey, we didn't do enough to warrant a victory. And I think he's true. I don't think that, he's lying when he says that. And when he refers to Lamine Yamal's quote in regards to intensity, Lamine Yamal, what he said is, it was this quote right here. He says, like in every other match this season, we have lacked intensity yet again. He says, we lacked attitude today. We have to play more like last season. And here's two things that from those quotes. Number one, I'm absolutely glad that these players recognize this and understand that Barcelona, we cannot play with this lackadaisical, nature of just thinking, oh, because we've won the trophies last season, we are able to go into this, into this, new season with a lack of desire to win, a lack of hunger. You saw that in the very first game against Mallorca when Barcelona, they were facing a 9-man Mallorca, and they weren't playing at 100%. They were playing at 50, 60% of their abilities. They were just moving the ball around and just trying just to finish the match. Lamine Yamal is recognizing this. He's saying, hey, we haven't been playing brilliantly. Lamine Yamal, he talks about his own performance, and he says, I think I can be better. I'm not at my best level. The stats are good, but I have to be better. Right there, Lamine Yamal recognizing that, hey, even though, the stats are saying that I'm playing well, it's just simply not the case. And I absolutely love that these players are recognizing it, because I don't want them to get into a sense of false confidence where they think, hey, by just automatically showing up into the pitch, we're going to be winning. And that is just not the case. Barcelona, we still have so much improvement to be done. And you saw the fragility in our defense. You saw the weaknesses in the team. There's so much work to be done. And Hansi Flick, in these next coming 2 weeks, he's going to be looking to improve in the defensive aspect, because Rayo Vallecano, they're tearing us apart. Lamine Yamal, he spoke about that, and he says, yes, they worked on getting in behind us, but that's not why they equalized. They scored from a set piece. We just have to keep playing our game and stick to our idea until the end. And in regards to that, in order for Barcelona to effectively use that high line, you need your players to be all in coordination, be one huge unit, and be intense with that pressure. Because if one person or one player isn't giving his 100%, isn't making that sprint to close down the space, Rayo Vallecano, especially on a pitch so small, they're going to be taking advantage of that. They're going to be looking to get in behind Barcelona and make us suffer. And thankfully, we had an absolute monster on our hands in regards to Joan García, because he legit won us the match, guys. I don't think I can say enough praise in regards to Joan García. Joan García, he was generally the reason why Barcelona, they don't go out of that match with a loss. If Chesney or Ter Stegen were there, I'm pretty sure we would have picked up a defeat. That's how monstrous Joan García was. One of the best goalkeeping performances I've seen in a very long time. Joan Garcia, he talks about his performance and he says, I've tried to save every chance that came my way. I'm feeling very comfortable with the team. Our objective was to get the 9 out of 9 points before the break, but it wasn't possible. And I'm absolutely gutted that that didn't happen. Hansi Flick, he praises him and he says, Rayo created a lot of chances in the second half, but we have a great goalkeeper. And I'm just thinking about it. If Joan Garcia wasn't there, guys, we would have absolutely demolished. Joan Garcia, he says, I knew I had to adapt my style to Barcelona's high line, but I consider myself a brave goalkeeper, eager to help the team, and I feel very comfortable, and I have a strong desire to continue this way. And as I said, guys, not only was Joan Garcia amazing at the shot stopping ability, but his on the ball distribution as well was brilliant. Every single time, Barcelona, they were giving him the ball, he was finding the right passes. When he was called to be a sweeper keeper, he was getting there. And we have absolutely have the signing of the summer, 25 million. I think that's an absolute steal. Joan Garcia, he responds to the headline saying, hey, you're the reason why Barcelona received the point. And he says, well, that's why we goalkeepers exist, to be present when things aren't going well. Unfortunately, one shot I couldn't reach. And man, I am absolutely gutted. I wish Barcelona were able to keep a clean sheet in order to give merit to that performance, but it just simply wasn't the case. But guys, I want to hear your guys' thoughts in regards to Joan Garcia. He was absolutely brilliant on that. I don't think I can sing his praises enough, especially after having Ter Stegen in goal for so many years. Finally, an actual goalkeeper. But going back to what Hansi Flick he said, I want to talk about this quote right here, because right here, this is very, very interesting. He says, last year, we've worked as a team, and the most important thing is that there are no egos, because that kills success. I told the players this today before most of them leave for international duty. It had to be said. And I wonder here, who could he be referring to? Is it a drift between, let's say, Gavi and Fermin? Because there were some reports in regards to a potential conflict. Is it maybe Lamine Yamal's, I would say, excessive time on the ball? Is it the lack of combination between Rafinha and Lamine Yamal? What is the case? What is Hansi Flick referencing in this quote right here? Is he talking about the whole team as a whole? Because Barcelona, as Lamine Yamal said, they lack intensity, they lack the attitude, they lack the hunger to go out there and be, I would say, unrelenting in the pressure. And I really hope that Barcelona, they are able, to come back after the international break and put in better performances. Because I'm not going to be too, I would say, pessimistic and too critical of Barcelona after this draw, because it was against a very difficult opponents that historically has caused us a lot of issues in the stadium that has been very difficult to play against. And so I'm not going to be bashing Barcelona, but things have to be changed, because in these past 3 games, we've seen signs that just beg to be looked at and just have to be improved on, because if not, we're just simply not going to replicate last season's form and the winning feeling that we had. Lamine Yamal, he talks about Barcelona coming back after the international break, and he says, after the international break, we will try to win as many matches as possible, play as we always have, and return to our philosophy, which we haven't fully shown in this match. But anyway, we will rest now and come back stronger. He talks about his penalty, which was a little bit controversial, but we leave it to debate. He says, "I was feeling confident, so I took it well. We'll see. I'm always there to help the team, and if I'm asked to take a shot, I'll be very happy to do so." And I like that he was very confident, in his ability to take that penalty, because if Lamine Yamal, let's say, were to miss that, a lot of blame was going to be falling at his feet. But Lamine Yamal, being Lamine Yamal, he basically responded and he scored the goal, being very pivotal in Barcelona. Even though it wasn't his best performance, I do think Lamine Yamal, he didn't play particularly great, but he did his job. And the last course I want to be looking at in regards to Frenkie de Jong, because Frenkie de Jong, I believed he played a good game, but he wasn't. He played a good game on the ball, but he wasn't able to, I would say, dictate the play, and I would say create space. It was sort of like a weird. It was a weird match. It was a weird match. Hansi Flick. Frankie de Jong, he says, when we return from the national team, the pressure will start with 2 matches every week. I think this will benefit us to have a match rhythm and so on. I hope we improve. Let's hope that's the case. Let's hope just Barcelona continually playing and having multiple matches every single week will also, improve I would say, the necessity to win. Let's pray. He talks about Barcelona's performance, and he says it was a complicated match, and the opponent was also very tough today. Yes, it's always a difficult pitch, but we have to play much better than we showed today. 100%. He talks about Barcelona's season performances so far. He said, I believe we should have won all the matches, so I don't consider it a good start. But we must keep going. Frenkie de Jong, once again, recognizing Barcelona's mistake and just saying what we all are saying. Guys, we have to see some improvement. Even though Barcelona, they drop points, these past performances, there's been something missing. It hasn't been the Barcelona that we saw last season. There isn't a hunger, there isn't a necessity. We have to have that back. We have to go back to what we've been showing last season in order for us to win the trophies that we all want to win. He talks about VAR. He talks about the whole VAR situation, and so forth, some issues. He says at first they said there was no VAR, then they said that there is VAR for offside only, then they said that there is nothing, then suddenly they said there's everything, then again they said there is none. I don't know. And that's La Liga refereeing, guys. It's absolutely crazy. But, it's insane that a top league in the world doesn't have, technology that is 100% consistent and just doesn't have these issues. But once again, La Liga being La Liga, just being an absolute joke. But guys, I want to continue to be hearing your guys' thoughts and your guys' opinions. I know a lot of people, aren't really happy with Barcelona's performance yesterday, and things do have to be improved on if Barcelona do want to win silverware this season. And let's hope Barcelona do bounce back after the international break. Hopefully we see much better performances, and we are able to see a Barcelona that's hungry and determined to win when we do come back. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. And as always, guys, thank you guys all for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out, guys.